Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, Tarot Grand Lux by Chiro Marchetti. Website at the top, usgamesinc.com. Feel free to check that out if you want to support that creator. Supportive Oracle cards. Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. There's some website information at the bottom there, hayhouse.com, I believe. Feel free to freeze frame on any of that information if you want to check that out, of course. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. Is it? Is it? Let's see. You've got a lot of, a lot of cup cards coming in, but they're positive ones. That's compatible with Earth, so we're good so far. You seem to be in your element. A lot of cup cards. Yeah, I feel like it's time to move forward and kind of like it's okay. It's time to move forward. Okay, that's fine. There's something. Maybe it's time to let other people just deal with their own problems. Something like that. So there's a lot of good cards here, and there's a lot of positive energy. Ironically, it's what's around you. Something around you has this. This is the conflict card. It can be arguing. It can be flat out a violent person. There's something wrong around you. There's something that causes a lot of conflict. It's a general read. This is somebody who I feel like it's kind of like a bully energy, which is very interesting because that can take many different forms. Like when we're young, I feel like a bully is quite obvious. But when we're older, it's kind of like realizing that somebody's verbally bullying you, even though they're using the acceptable language, if you will. Like I feel like people get bullied by bosses, like in a work situation a lot. Like there's very condescending. There's different ways to do it. There's a different tone, but there's definitely a bullying. I feel like it's a bullying energy. But it's a conflict. It could be a flat-out arguing energy, but somebody is a problem. Now, I feel like also maybe you have discovered a way to deal with this. This is what's around it, though. Like, this is a big piece of the situation. But I'm getting, like, you've dealt with that before. You might even have kind of, like, faded to the background a little bit. Kind of like, if I don't have anything the bully wants, they don't bother me. Can we get a little bit more? It's weird, because this is like a side energy, but this is definitely something you got to keep an eye on, because it could affect the good energy that you have in front of you. Two of Wands reversed, and what is that? The Hanged Man, or the Hanged Person. But it's like halfway. It's like this is an energy that could distract and derail where you're going. So I feel like we have to stay out of sight of this energy as much as possible. In fact, there might be a timing element. When that energy is busy, that's when you do what you need to do. Because for whatever this is, it's too good for you to like play with. It's kind of like, we need to get this. This needs to be secure. And if the bully energy, whatever that is bent out of shape after the fact, well, that's fine, because it's too late for them to screw it up for you. I'm using that term bully very loosely. I know I'm using the air quote thing. Because I feel like not everybody would say, well, that's not a bully. I feel like people would argue with you, or maybe just maybe with me, that's not a real bully. But it's definitely like a pushy energy that wants to force you their direction versus where you want to go. It's very much my situations are always more important than your situations type person, if that helps kind of put that in perspective. Like whatever I'm doing is always going to be more important than what you're doing, Virgo. Like that type of person, if you follow me. Because whatever's coming in, it's been here. I don't think it's coming in. I think it's already here, but there's like, we're moving into the next phase. I don't know if it's a phase or it's like the next level, because I feel like I'm building on something, so I don't know if I really want to call it a phase. So it's kind of like, if you already have the basement and the first floor, it's kind of like now we're starting to work on the floor above that. So it's like the next level, you know what I mean? it's all connected. I don't think this is a new situation. That it's something where I feel like I might have to fight to get what I want, and I might have to like be careful about it. I'm getting if you just stay out of eyesight, or stay out of like when that energy gets busy, that's when to move. Timing is the easiest. When that energy gets busy, that's when you move forward. Do you have support for this, or do you have to do this on your own? Is there support for Virgo? Like positive support? Four of Cups and the High Priestess. Technically, yes. Four of Cups tells me, yeah, you'll get that support. Maybe it doesn't work out quite the way you want it to, but you will get that support if you look for it. But I also feel like I'm losing a little bit of control. Somebody else might be kind of like, well, all right, since I got involved with this, maybe it's not going to go totally the way you want to, Virgo, but it'll go mostly the way you want to, Virgo. So keep that in mind. Because I also feel like I don't have a choice about what part I miss. Like if there's 4 pieces, I'm like, well, I'm willing to give away that part over here, but I might end up losing this part right here. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind. I don't know why I want to... if you have 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're willing to give up 1, but you end up losing 3. I'm just saying, it's not, I don't know. Why are we going down that again? I don't see the point. A lot coming in. Something is coming forward, and there's a lot of fun. I feel like it's fun. I feel like it is fun, actually, for you. Swords. 4 of Swords. Healing, but the wheel is going to be here. There is some random energy here. Keep moving towards what you need done. Don't commit to other people, especially if people are trying to push you in a different direction. If we can play the I'll get back to you game, and it's a game because it's like I don't really intend to get back to you, but I'm just trying to get you out of my way so I can do what I need to do, and like, oh, I was busy, I couldn't get back to you. Sometimes you gotta play that game. I don't know. Some people are just too pushy, and again, if this is an energy where my problems are always more important than anybody else in the whole universe, how could you not know that? If they're that person, and there's those people out there, I mean, I know it's dramatic the way I'm saying it, but they do exist. I mean, come on. I don't know. I'm not very sunshine rainbows today, so I'm just not feeling very sunshine rainbows. Because I see you like having the courage to get past this and holding where you need to stay. Is that the 9? Yes. You will get through it. It feels like once I start moving forward and I've kind of distracted or took the advantage to move forward when I need to, and this is one of those times where taking the advantage to move forward is not wrong. It's not wrong. If instead of looking at this like maybe I'm taking advantage of somebody, you're taking the advantage of the moment so somebody else can't take advantage of you is what I'm looking at. You do have what it takes. Once you get going, you get stronger, you keep going. I do feel like you just got to keep moving. Let the other person cause the problem. If the other person causes the problem, where's this going? And then if you have to add a third party in to help you out, if you need this support, if the other person, if the controversial, conflicting person is the one who's starting the issue, that becomes more to your favor. Just keep moving, keep going, and then deal with them as you have to. So how do I explain this? So if this is a work thing, which I knew if this is a work thing, and you know what you need to do, and maybe that person, whoever that person is distracted, you start moving forward, you're already locked into doing what you're doing. Maybe 2 days go by, and then all of a sudden they realize what you're doing, and they're all bent out of shape because you're doing something that helps you, doesn't help them. So they're trying to stop you and make you stop, and just keep doing what you're doing. Let them cause the problem. If somebody else says, okay, we need to talk, you and problem child need to come over here and talk with me because we need to work this out. Make sure you don't stop doing what you're doing. Keep moving forward, and then just keep showing, I'm getting good things done. I have things to do. They're going to have to help themselves. I can't help them. Or at the very least, when I'm done, and keep that open, I don't know where I'm going to be done, but when I'm done, I can help them. For now, let's keep moving forward with what you're doing. Don't slow down, don't stop. As they're talking, kind of I need to keep getting progress here because this is where I'm definitely going. Don't be apologetic about it, but be careful how you talk to it. Be careful not to get in that, I'm angry, this is where I'm going energy, but keep no, I got things to do, I just keep moving. I'm here and I'm going to keep going. Keep going down that road, because for example, 2 days, if a day equals a mile and you're 2 miles down the road, keep going, because argument might last 5 days, so that by when the argument's over, you're 7 miles down the road. It just speaks to your benefit more, like, well, let's let Virgo finish what they need to do. Other person who has more important problems than everybody in the whole universe, they're just going to have to deal with their own problems. Just keep that in mind. I don't know, I'm very cynical about this other person, because I feel like that energy, there was another reading, I don't remember which one it was, in this section that somebody was like that. There was like, they were dealing with somebody like that, like, my problems are more worse than anything you could ever possibly deal with. And it's kind of like, sure, I'm sure they are. Holding the line and keep going forward, and just making it indefinite when you could help somebody else. Like, I'll try to help you, but I don't know when. I don't know when. I don't know when. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. That will create healing. It seems so strange to me that you just keep, if you can just keep putting somebody off and you're successful with that and you just keep moving forward with what you want, I feel like this is going to actually work for you. It seems to me a little bit strange, because it just seems strange that it's working. Because maybe you've tried this before and it hasn't worked. Yeah, because I feel like they get frustrated, and you get it's like people are seeing the success you're having with what you want to do. I feel like people start, like, kind of like, leave Virgo alone. I feel people around this going, leave Virgo alone. Virgo's doing what they need to do. Find somebody else to help you. This energy also gets very frustrated with having to wait for you. Here we go with the air quotes again. Wait for you. They don't want to wait for you. And I do think they're going to move on. Ironically, I don't know. I feel like they will badmouth you, but I feel like they make themselves look worse than they do you. There might be some badmouthing going on there. If you just ignore it, ironically, I feel like it literally disappears. Which may not be the easiest, but if you just kind of like see it like that's that person, and if somebody follows that, they get what they deserve. Be careful not to invest in the bad-mouthing, which goes on a few different levels. The two that I'm seeing is like verbally responding to it publicly or like with other people, but also internally. Like, don't respond to it internally. Don't have that internal conversation about, well, this person and that person. Just, they're not important enough to derail your success. So make sure you don't address it internally either. Like, don't address them outwardly or inwardly. Just kind of like center on what you need to get done. And I've done this myself, kind of like, if you have to, keep going through the steps of what you're gonna do. So for example, I just like making analogies. So somebody's being a jerk, they're causing issue, they're starting some bad mouthing about you. Don't say anything out loud about it, but don't do it internally in the sense of like, all right, instead of thinking about that because it's annoying, go, okay, I need the eggs. Okay, where are the eggs? The eggs are in the fridge. I need the eggs. I need the eggs in the fridge. When I get the eggs, okay, this is what I'm going to do with the eggs. And then I'm going to fold them in slowly. I think I want this size egg. And then the eggs, like keep talking about your process and what you're going to actually do. Just keep your brain going on that. If you do that, it could distract you enough so you don't catch into that wave. Because just like addressing it internally, it seems to create something, and you might actually bring something, like you might actually have a hard time not saying something, or your body language might say something that you're not really wanting to say, if you follow me. So if you're one of those people like me where you give somebody a dirty look and you think you're playing it cool, and then people are like, why are you giving that person a nasty look? I'm like, I'm not. They're like, no, you are. You definitely are. Keep that in mind too, because we don't want to empower that person in any sense. We just want to make sure we don't disrupt our own energy and like kind of start creating a negative spin, because that internal addressing that could create a negative spin. Just keep connected with your success, what you're doing, even if you have to keep saying in your head like what the process you're going to do, as you're doing it. Or even if you have to distract yourself with other things, just keep your mind centered on other things. And like, even if you have to, I feel like for Virgo, if you keep going through steps, sometimes you'll get into that rhythm and you'll just keep going through it, and keep doing that. Be aware. I'm going to say this like just as a side note, don't do that when you're driving, because you might miss obvious things. Don't do that when you're driving. Don't do that step thing while you're driving. I'm just saying. What else is here? I feel like whatever they're saying, they're trying to say there's something really good here, and they're like, definitely for you, you'll make it there. Don't address this. Don't give into this situation, whoever this problem thing is. And I'm looking at all these good cards, and I'm like, why have I not picked them up? So in the environment, you got somebody who wants to work with you, somebody wants to be connected with you. This is seeming like this is already a connection that's very positive for you because you got the Knight and Queen of Cups. And then I feel like as this starts moving forward, I feel like you get the Ace of Cups going into the next level, and then you're kind of starting off with the Page energy, which ironically I think works very well for Virgo. Kind of like you don't like to start off you don't like to start off at 60 miles an hour. You like to kind of like, all right, I'm up to 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, everything's where it's supposed to be. All right, let's get up to 20 miles an hour. Yep, things are going good. I got control of the car. I know where things are going. I know how the road is going. I've seen where the map goes. All right, 25, 30, 35. Like you get up to 60 on your own terms. This is that card kind of like, I'm going to start off at 5 miles an hour, then go to 10. That seems to be what works for you the best. So I feel like this card showing up later is exactly what you want for the next level coming in. So I feel like this is a very positive progression forward. It's just not letting this other energy have a negative effect on that. That's the whole point of this reading is what I'm getting. And I feel like maybe some of you aren't realizing how strong that energy can be if it's not left unchecked. So they're just kind of addressing that too. Just kind of like, before we go too far and this energy starts to cause damage to your success, let's not let that energy cause any damage to your success. I feel like that's the whole point. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.